My family got me this violin that I still play. And at that point, there was that part of being like, okay, everyone kind of like supported me through this and also sacrificed things for me to play. So there was not anymore in the question. It's always a struggle, like now I do my music, so it's like, where do I present my music? Why nobody cares? I write 100 emails, I get one answer and then they disappear. Like, it's tricky to keep going. So every now and then I'm like, I'm gonna retire and grow my tomatoes and zucchini, and which I know I can do because during the pandemic I had zucchini in my fire escape. Basically, this instrument came back to Italy with me from Vienna for 2 weeks. And I was just like in love with it. But it was expensive. So it went back to Vienna. Then I go back to Vienna. I was taking some lessons there. My mom would drive me to take these lessons. So I went back and somehow the violin was still at the shop. And somehow it ended up in my hands again. So it came back to Italy for another 2 weeks. But at that point, my mom, I think, found that I had pictures of the violin hidden around the room. Oops. And that's when I think that they got together with my grandparents, my aunts, like everyone got together. They made a payment plan. It was just like everyone got involved. I don't have much, but I have this. This is all I have. The things also that make your life your life. It's like without this, I'm not a musician anymore. Actually, the violin came in a little later. I started with the piano just because my mom is a music lover. She always put vinyl, like I grew up like with her Sunday morning vacuum and a vinyl of Stravinsky. So it was like, you know, like some crazy combination. But my dad also is a singer-songwriter, more political, and he grew up playing guitar, or anyway, passionate of music in general. Legend says that they put me in a bag as a baby when they went to the jazz club, and they put me under the piano while they were having a party. You know, it's like they were like with friends, and I was just sleeping under the piano. So I think that it was just like, why not take music lessons? So I started with piano when I was 5 or 6. I went to a summer camp with other kids that were playing also string instrument. And my mom is an artisan, and she was next to a luthier. So between these two situations of going to a summer camp and all my friends were playing violin and I was the only pianist in the group, and I was like, I don't get to play with the other ones. Like they would go to orchestra, you know, and I was just like alone. The 3 days of the market, I stayed in the next stand with the luthier. I bugged him the entire time. I was like, what is that? What is that? What is? It was just like so curious and fascinated about this instrument that you have to. It was just like beautiful. And you know, the violin is not, you put it on and it's like you make a beautiful sound. It's horrible at the beginning. It's just like, it's like the first 2 years is like that. So the very first time I remember, it was like it was put on me, and they were, both of them, they were on me, you know, trying to put the bow and trying to make me do a sound. And then I went back home and I didn't have an instrument. And I remember trying with books to put stuff on me and pretend to play. I was really obsessed. And this was around 10, when I was 9, 10 years old. I was ending high school, and I was like, I'm gonna travel the world and take a year off. I don't know, and maybe I want to be a musician, maybe I want to study languages, and you know, like I don't know what I want. Maybe I want to be a biologist. But I auditioned for the orchestra of Friuli Venezia Giulia, which is the region where I'm from, and I got in. So that's when basically I got a job being a musician, and that's when I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'm maybe I'm good enough to do this. They were opening the jazz program, so I started attending a day with the head of the department, that he was having like a 6-hour afternoon with all the students, and we would go from transcribing to just listening to harmony to piano. Like, it was just like a full day. So as much as I could, I did also that. I did drums, I did jazz piano. Of course, it was like a very basic. So it was just like I was somehow getting here, even if it was not in the radar. New York was definitely out of the radar. I didn't know what I was doing. And I think between these new experiences in my hometown and meeting this wide range of musicians at Banff made me feel like I need something different from my career and my musical life. So the first crisis was probably around 15. I didn't want to practice, and it was just like a very hard time. I just wanted to be a normal kid, whatever normal means, you know. I was surrounded by the right people. They gave me a break, but at the same time they supported me. So they were like, don't give up now. Take it easy. We're gonna help, you know. It's like, yeah, sure. It's a hard time, but let's keep moving forward. I'm originally from Italy. I grew up in the Northeast. It's not only from Italy, it's like an area that is not very touristic, and I mean, now probably it became, but it's like a small region between the Alps and the sea. Maybe it was a little bit conservative in the sense of like the kind of music I grew up with was mostly classical music. So getting to know different kind of music and different kind of musicians, I needed to get out to get that. So the first step I tried was going to live in Barcelona, and that was already like, oh, so many musicians from Latin America, and I would go to these jam sessions where we would just like jump in and play and have fun. And that was my first step of being like getting out of my comfort zone, but still like trying to find myself. When I decided to come here, it was more like, okay, to grow the way I am envisioning myself as a musician in the future, I think I need to be there. So I knew that culturally, at the beginning at least, it would have been a little bit harsh. I was like, I'm doing this for, you know, to grow. So take what you can. Don't get like frustrated or upset or sad about the distance, about people that you can't really like feel connected, because that's what happens sometimes. You meet so many people. It's not always that you're gonna be like, oh, we're friends, you know, and you're really friends. But that was the experience. Sometimes there was so much like enthusiasm in meeting me because, oh, she's from Italy, and then it stops there, you know. And I was like, wait, aren't we having coffee or like, you know, do something together? But here in New York, it's a little bit like different, because New York, at least my New York, is made of people from everywhere. So everyone brings a little bit of their own thing. And I think that that's the beauty of here. As I traveled, also I feel like it's important to have your things secured. And, you know, I hope it stays with me all my life. But if anything would happen, I would need a plan B. And ensuring it is the plan B. Last few years that I've been dealing with Clarion is super simple, and also ensuring the new instrument was simple. Ensuring this one, I had to do an appraisal, but that was, again, very easy. Like a professional musician, like a professional violinist, you for sure have an instrument that at least is $10,000. So absolutely worth it to insure it.